Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for pressing play. I hope you like what you see. Hit like and subscribe, and feel free to ask questions. I'll do my very best to answer them. Sometimes I forget. This is video number 172, and you may have just come in the last video or two, and maybe I talked about something 50 videos ago. So you may be wondering about it, and feel free to ask, and I will do my best. If you're a returning stitching friend, thank you ever so much for being here and sharing stitching with me. I really am truly grateful for each and every one of you and the chance to talk stitching and share this craft and other crafts with you. So thank you very much. Before I get to my stitching, I did have a question about scrapbooks because I showed, I believe last week I showed a scrapbook fully finished, and it's been a while since I did an extra video. So I did want to point out for anybody new and you have questions, I do have a Scrapbooking Your Stitches playlist on my channel. There's 4 videos. The first 2 videos have to do with supplies and what you might or might not want to do. And those are just suggestions. There's a ton of other things you could do with it. Feel free to have fun with it and do whatever, but these are some guidelines just to kind of get you started if there's something, or suggestions I should say, to get you started. And then the last 2 videos, 3 and 4, I'm assuming there's 4. I think there's 4. I know there's 2 because of the supplies, because I did a whole bunch in the first one, and then the actual album, I changed my mind and I showed something totally different in the second one. So you have lots of choices, but I'm pretty sure then there were 2 other videos that had to do with me actually scrapbooking the pieces and kind of talking my way through it. One of them is scrap pictures and cross stitch projects. One are just straight cross stitch projects. So there's lots of different ways and things you can do. So they're there if you want to see them. There are some other playlists I'd like to create on the channel. I'm just not on my laptop very often, and that's where I do all of that stuff. So it's just a matter of sitting down one day and instead of stitching, working on the computer. But I know those are there because I did want to have a place to direct people if they were interested with it. And if you have any questions, because I would love to do more videos. I know I've talked about doing a flip through. Right now, I feel like I want more projects done so that I can do a really, more comprehensive flip through. So that means I just have to scrap some more pieces. But I know that, so that is coming at some point. But if there's anything else you have questions about and you'd like me to create some sort of video with it that's not already in the videos, because I don't want to repeat things and bore you, but I'm happy to do some more because I am loving that kind of finishing. The finish you're going to see this week, because I have a finish, is going to go in the scrapbook. So I'm super excited about that. And yeah, so, but I'd like to, I don't know what you want to know. So feel free to ask me some questions, give some suggestions, and I would be happy to do some more of those extra videos. All right, so we've referenced my stitching, and my very first project I am going to show you is my finish. I am so excited. This is a long time coming, so many of you know what it is I'm going to show you because we've been seeing this and seeing this. I don't have to show you the digital picture anymore though, because we are done. So are you ready? Here it is. This is On the Beach from Stitchrovia. Bring it up close for a second. So if we go this way, and then we just work our way all the way up. Yes, that water is no joke, my friends. So be prepared. It's a fun stitch. It's a great stitch, but be prepared. This part is a little bit of a slog, Now, Helen de-stitched this, and Helen stitched this first. So she got it out of the way. I usually start in the upper left, unless for some reason it makes more sense to start somewhere else. So that meant I was working my way down, and my last thing to do was the water. This, surprisingly, remember I had just water left, and I only had one of the 2 colors. That was almost 400 stitches. Now, what was nice was I didn't need the pattern anymore or anything, because at that point I was just filling in. So if I had stuck with one color, and maybe that's a way to do it, obviously this top row is a little bit of a lighter color, but this whole section is literally just 2 colors. So you could do one of them and then it would make your life a lot easier, as opposed to switching back and forth like I did. Just be prepared to be, you know, it's the same repeating thing, but I still made mistakes. You know, if you don't count 100% correctly, you got that mistake coming. So just a warning. 18 count beach sand from To Dye For Fabrics. I chose this one specifically because I knew how much there was open breaks here, and I did want it to look like they were at the beach. This will be, like I mentioned, scrapbooked, so I'm super, super excited. I'm thinking about, I'm gonna switch hands because my arm's getting tired. I lifted heavy weights yesterday. In my workouts, I like to do weight. I like to do weight workouts, not just cardio. And yesterday was a heavier work day, so now my arms are really tired. But anyway, this is gonna go in the scrapbook. I'm thinking, so I would like to probably, if you haven't seen my scrapbook pages before, what I like to do a lot of times is do a tight mat right along, kind of like if you were matting when you framed it. I'm gonna play around with this one. So I think I might do the base color, a tannish cardstock, but then I really want to have like a watery, potentially a watercolor background. That may look awful once I go to lay it on there, but that's going to be my initial plan, and then we'll see what happens from there. So this one will get a fairly tight cut. I mean, I don't cut all the way up to the stitching, but I'll cut and trim out all this excess. I could use this extra for trading cards actually, and down here, so that's good. That'll work out nicely. Yeah, I think that's where that one's going. So I will have to, if you're new, I do put, this is my back, I do put interfacing on the back, so I'll have to do that first. Usually what I like to do is grab several projects, or however many that haven't got interfacing on them, and do them all together, because in order to take the iron out and to take the interfacing and all that other stuff, you know, I mean, it's kind of, I don't want to say a pain, but in some ways to do just one piece. So I usually do try to have a few finishes at once so that I can do that. But yeah, so hopefully sometime this summer I can have this fully finished, and I will show it to you when it's done. So I am excited. That was fun, but at the end, you know how sometimes you're just ready, you know what, that one? I'll just leave it there. Sometimes you're just ready for a project to be finished. As much as you've enjoyed it, sometimes you don't want them to be done, and you're sad. And this one, I'm happy it's done, and I'm not sad that I don't have any left to stitch on it. Does that make any sense? I guess a couple things can be true at once, right? All right, so this next one probably, well, On the Beach might have been a 2020 start. I'm not 100% sure. At the very least, it was 2021, but it might have been 2020. So I'm trying to start thinking about, except for well, I had no full coverages in 2020. I don't think I started those till 2021. But I'm trying to think about the projects that I have that have been started in 2020, which would have been the first ones I kept track of. And I think I've pretty much planning on restarting anything that was started before that, and have restarted one or two. So at this point, I'm looking at my book from 2020 on and trying to see what I can do to kind of finish up some projects and clean up some projects and get things done. So this one, and especially given that we're coming up on July, I pulled out Long May She Wave, and this is from Stitching with the Housewives. So that's what it looks like. Mine, in the end, is going to look pretty different than this. I think it's super cute, and which obviously I wouldn't have chosen to stitch it, but in the last few years I've realized and defined my style. I'm distracted because there is a beautiful bright red cardinal. I think it's a cardinal because it's across the street. Oh, here it comes. Is it gonna fly by me? Oh, no, it didn't. Bright red that just landed on a tree branch there. And you know, it was so bright, it just caught your eye immediately. Anyway, in the intervening time, the older I get, the more minimalist I get. You know, my house is minimally decorated. It's open spaces in some ways where I can. I just find that my brain works better that way. Now my craft room, because I have a lot of stuff, right? And I enjoy it. So this is not minimal, but I'm very much trying to have everything in its place, because I found two things stress me out. If there's stuff everywhere, and I mean not put in away in its place, which having a 20-year-old at home sometimes causes that stress, or just too much, I just feel a little confined. So as I'm doing that in my life, I kind of find in my stitching, sometimes I want to pull out parts of patterns, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's obviously something that I enjoyed and liked about the pattern. I just don't always have to stitch the full thing. So on this one, I'm actually pulling back a lot of the stuff. I have some already stitched, but I think I would stitch all that was there already. Let's just talk it through it. So there's little tiny around the flowers and the words, something that looks like, I don't know if they're bees or what. I've nixed all those. So it'll just be simplicity with the flowers and the words. I never was going to do the chicken. I'm just not a chicken stitcher. So what I did there was I left the top of the truck blank. I took, what did I do? I took this flower down here. I lifted it up a little bit, and I kind of changed where these flowers were. I kind of placed them a few rows up or down. You're going to see today I'm taking out these flowers down here. I'm going to keep the flowers in the truck, but this flag is too close to this, so I'm taking that flag out. I have this one, so I don't need a second. And I think because I've got all those flowers and I kind of like that, I'm going to take out this bunting off of the truck. It has the flag on it, but I'm going to take the bunting off. And then there's also a flower at the back of the truck just kind of hanging out. I'll get rid of that as well. So eventually, when you see this finished, it's going to be a little bit more of a minimalist, plainer version of the pattern. Now this, you know, I'll just put this behind it. This fabric, for some reason, is very see-through. So there it is. That's where I am right now. This is an 18 count. I'm calling it navy blue. So I bought this. This was when I first discovered hand-dyed fabrics. There was a store on Etsy called Garibaldis. This is Charles Craft, which I generally do not stitch on, but I was just getting back to things, and I kind of didn't remember the difference between, say, Zweigart and all that other stuff. So I picked these up, and it's definitely a thicker fabric. I don't know if it feels that way because of the blue dye, because I have a few more of their other fabrics. I can't remember if they're all like that, and if that's a Charles Craft thing or not. But it's a lot of fun. I liked the blue rather than the black, which is what the original is stitched on. I just kind of like this shade a little bit better. So this week, I definitely concentrated on this. So you can see here, I did add one more little sprig of like a weedy grass so that there would just be a little bit extra. So I just like that better, just something simple that the truck is on. The truck is completely, except for the, I need to do a little bit inside this wheel. Wow. Forgot that word. And then I obviously have to do the inside there. But the front of the truck is all done at this point. So once I have this done, and now that I've made the decision I'm not going to do the bunting, this would be just a great stitch if I'm watching something or chatting or somewhere. It could even be like a beach stitch or a car stitch, because I wouldn't really need the pattern. I would just need the one floss and I could go. I've started the flowers. And the other thing with the flowers, I think in some cases I am going to fill them in. They are over here. They're checker. I don't know if checker is the right word, but that's kind of what they are. I'm going to fill them in a little bit more, although with the blue fabric, I wouldn't necessarily need to, but the blue is lighter, and I think I'd like it as a full flower versus just stripes kind of thing. So I am going to change the flowers just a tad. So there's some work to do, a little bit, not so much recharting necessarily, because I'm just kind of pulling things away. And I think taking out this flower, it's going to be fine. There's still space, you know, there's not that much space between the back of the truck and the vine. You can see that. So it's not like it's really going to be super noticeable. And there's going to be a flower coming up over here. If I wanted to, I could extend one of the flowers up a little bit higher, but I don't really feel like I need to. So I would like to do some more work on this in July. I know I'm not going to get it done this month. There's a lot of stitching here. It's sometimes deceiving how much stitching the Housewives patterns have. But I'll do the best I can, and I'll see what I can do. And hopefully, I would like to, in the past, I've been kind of bringing it out in July and then letting it kind of linger. But I mean, we're getting to the point now where it's 3 years old, right? I think I started it in the summer of 2020. So I need to get going on it. Again, it'll go in the scrapbook, but I'd like to have it finished. I've put a decent amount of work into it, so I'd like to have it done. Okay, next, I started this one a few weeks ago, and I was just feeling like something super cute, so I pulled out Gnomeville. So that's what it looks like. It's from Little Dove Designs. So this is their website, but I'm almost sure that if you click shop, it takes you to their Etsy site, if I remember correctly. But if you want to just see everything, it's a great place to go look. You can see everything nicely. So cute, so cute. I don't have much, but I plugged along. I have a gnome. So that's what it looks like full. And except for the very inside of this flower, which I think I'm going to wait till those colors come up and then I'll stitch them, you know, because I know those colors come up in other parts of the pattern. I'll stitch that when I get to it. So I finished the flower and I got the little guy. Now the gnome is holding a lantern, but I ran out of stitching time for that. So there you go. That's what it looks like. This is done on an 18 count. It's called, oh, I'm just looking and somehow or other, one of my stitches, I grabbed 2 stitches. Let me pull that out because there was almost something I forgot to show you. That's why I take notes. That's why I do notes. I was like, wait a minute, I see something on my notes that I didn't talk about. 18 count morning mint. Did I say mist? I'm not sure. Mint from Atomic Ranch. And I know you can get a lot of Atomic Ranch fabrics at Rogue Stitching. I happen to get mine, I believe, at Farmer's Attic on Etsy. I think that's what they're called. Super fast shipping, super fast. I wanted to try out some Valdanis. I figured, let me look at the fabrics, because you know I always have to look at fabrics. And they had a few Atomic Ranches, and I did stitch on a pattern on it, and I enjoyed it. One of my Jardin Privé seasons. So I said, oh, let's try some more. Now it's very, very pale. So I don't even know if the camera's picking it up, but super, super, as pale mint as you can get is what it is. So it's nice because there's a little hint of something, but then mostly just much more of a neutral. Now, my one problem will be there are a few spots where there's white, and let me show you. Not a lot where the white isn't, but you can see with the sign over down here. What I might do with those, whoa, there we go, it just got bigger on me. What I might do with those is I might very, very lightly pick a light-ish gray. I wouldn't use black, I don't think, because I don't want that starkness, and backstitch it. When I used to make cards as a paper crafter, sometimes you wanted the image to kind of pop out off of the white cardstock, say. And so you'd use, I don't know if you can see them, I have No, the gray markers are covered. I probably have about 10 different shades of gray, you know, all from super, super light all the way to the darks. And you could use that and just outline your image with a little bit of the gray, and it would make it pop a little bit, almost giving it a shadow. So I think what I would do is I would try to find a gray that would work and do the same sort of thing, have that same sort of idea. I'll stitch everything first. And if I feel like, now, you know, the sign has words on it, so maybe I won't need to once it has the words stitched on it. Maybe that'll be enough. I don't know. So we'll see, but that's where that one may go. I will give you any information if you're interested when I get to that point. But, you know, if you don't want something as stark as like a deep brown or a dark, you know, or a black, you want something that maybe gives you that outline. A gray. Grays are always a great idea because they can kind of provide that, but blend in still and not be in your face. Oh yeah, this is outlined. All right, this is the one I skipped. I can't believe I skipped it. Well, it's not like I purposely did. I grabbed two projects at once. This is June's Honeysuckle. So this is my focus with Cottage Garden for this month, because I'm doing each month's of this series. It is the Garden Journal series, and I'm starting each one each month. They're not, I have not finished one yet. I think January is the closest to a finish. And I'm not pushing myself. I'm just getting them started and having them in the rotation. They'll be scrapbooked, so I'm not particularly worried about, well, I need to have it displayed or anything like that. So that's what it looks like. And I am keeping all of the colors the same, but I did change, and you'll notice mine's different. I decided I didn't want all these bees here. I'm keeping all the other ones where they are, but I didn't want that. I'll be completely honest with you. Part of it was I really didn't want to stitch it. It's like stop and start and this and that. And I looked at it and, you know, I just wasn't sure it was like enough for the work it was going to be. So I then spent a ton of time counting and recounting. And so I extended this green over here, and then this is that pattern. So you're going to see two different greens there. There it is. So this is my upper corner. I'm not particularly worried that it's not filled with bees, because there's this is just the outside, right? It's going to have all the other things. And frankly, it's the flowers that draw me first, and then everything else kind of, my eye then goes to everything else. And I think those are beautiful. And I think on this fabric, so this is an 18 count. It's called Ice Crystals by Fabrics by Stephanie. I think on this fabric, those colors of flowers are going to pop. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get to them. But because I changed all of this, generally what I do is I'll start the words and I'll count off of these top borders. But I can't. I mean, I can if I just count the squares, which I may do, but I can't just say, okay, two of these parts over, because I everything is a little different count than what's the pattern is. So I just extended all the way over here, came all the way down, have this little corner right here. So there is, actually this is the corner. So that's how wide it's going to be. There are a couple bees flying around this one. And then I can start to figure out how far over this comes. That was the other thing. I stitched a certain amount, but then I have to figure out where the end is. So I'll play around with that. It may not be as, again, the same as what the pattern looks like, but it'll be fine. So this will get a, you know, stitching for the month of June, here or there. I have so many projects I'm so excited about that, and I really try to, if I'm going to show you something, I try to give it a minimum of 300. I like to be closer to 500, so we have some sort of progress to show. So, you know, sometimes if I have something that I get started, I want to get a certain amount in so that I can really show you some difference. Unless it's something like maybe if I started the words or whatever. But let's see, where am I going? I need a PDF. No? Let me see what I'm doing here. this is funny. I have everything. Oh, there we go. I just didn't touch the right tab. That's the problem when you have about 17 different tabs open of things to show you. Not that many, but okay. So my full coverage of the week, I put aside last week's, and it was Hidden Harbor, right? And I decided I should have like a little spinning wheel. I know a lot of people do the wheel and then they spin it and they choose the projects. This way they touch everything. I just pretty much open and close the drawers I have them in and say, oh, I feel like stitching this. And the one that got the attention this week, and this will get attention for this week and next. I was doing about 10 days. I'm still doing about that, but it turns out that you get to see it for 2 video weeks because there's usually a few days I don't get stitching in on it. And I do want to get a minimum of 1,000 every time I pull out one of my full coverages. I have probably, counting things like the beach girl in the red dress and Christmas deer. So those are much smaller than these. But I have probably about 13 full coverages. Odds are I'll be starting some more. So when I pull them out, I do want to see a little bit of progress. So I do give them 1,000 stitches. This is Mini Peridot from Rachel Anderson. I have a lot of these. I really do like these. If you wanted to, not all of them, although you could request if it doesn't, but many of them have a no background and just have this. So if you just wanted to stitch her or one of the other ones, that is an option because this is a ton of stitching. And that's where I am. I mean, I'm nowhere near her yet. I can't wait. But I'm not at that point yet. But Rachel Anderson has a lot of them. I chose Peridot because Megan is an August birthday, and I just thought, oh, why not? You know what I mean? So that's it. That's actually, yeah, because that doesn't even come any farther down than that. My full coverages I do on 18 count. White Aida, I do 2 strands over 1, and I do full crosses. So this is what is going to get repeated pretty much over here. I don't know if it's completely mirror. I haven't looked at it that closely. This was done a while. I thought about coming down because if you haven't been with me before, what I end up seeming to do with full coverage is I like to hit 3 of the corners. So instead of working my way down, I decided that I'd work my way across. As you can see, I'm almost there. I think this is just 3 pages and this pattern across, and it's not even, the 3rd page is not even a full page. So I probably have about this much more right here until I hit the edge. I was hoping I might, but I didn't quite get it. I didn't start this until, I think it's gotten 4 days of work so far. So, you know, 100-ish, maybe a little bit more. Some days, you know, you're right at 100. Some days if I'm busy, I might get a little under. So I'm really focusing on this section. I don't know. There's symbols that then repeat themselves elsewhere, but so far I've been just basically, there's big enough swaths of a certain color to kind of concentrate on there. But this side is what eventually that side will look like. And then what I can do is start bringing them both down and start getting down to the corners. I've not, I think Hidden Harbor might be one of my farthest along full coverages. And you saw where that was. I don't have any rhyme or reason. I just kind of wing it, to be honest with you. It's wherever I feel like stitching on any given time. And I don't do blocks. I basically pick a color and kind of go with it. Only so far though. And then I just go with either that one or another one, depending on what I want to do. Okay, so next I pulled out my Owl Forest embroidery. This is called Black Vintage Sampler. Love this. If you'd like to see 2 different takes of this, you could watch Mary's Stitching Corner, because Mary has been stitching this one, and you could watch Pages 3 Stitches. Kelly is also stitching this, although last time I talked to her, and she started with the horse. It is so cool what she's doing, but I'm not sure because she has focus pieces for this year that she's trying to get done. I'm not sure she's going to give it much more time this year. I think next year it might be more of a focus, but they are 2 that I know of. I'm sure there's others that have either have stitched it. I want to say Debbie, Glitter Dove Fairy on Instagram, she stitched part of it. I don't know if it was because there was because she did it in a variegated, it's totally different look. It's really cool. But I don't know if she'd ran out of us, she wasn't going to be able to get the floss for the full thing. So if you want to see it done and just, she picked a part, which is kind of cool. You can pick parts of this if you wanted to. All right. I have to hold the whole thing up because the cat now is a little bit farther. There we go. Oops, let's fix that. There we go. That's where it is. This is done on an 18 count rainy day from Bestitchme. I love, love, love it. And I am using Anchor Black instead of 310. So this week, I have to come over here. I've been neglecting that side dreadfully. You know, and I can even fold it up because I didn't work on the cat. So, oh, well, but you know what though? Because now that's coming down. Okay, so this right here, this piece, this gave me a lot of trouble with counting, to be honest with you. So I finally just buckled down. I said, that's it, Laura, you're sitting down and you're working on it. And so I did, and I got it finished. Thank goodness. That's probably given me the most trouble counting of this whole piece. I did some more, you know, with the border. I just have to keep, I was noticing that I'm starting to come down here and I'm not keeping the border going. And I really don't want to have border just all over to finish. So I am working my way down. Plus I use that and I count things off of each other that way. So I want to keep them both going. And that's why on the other side, I really have to get going on the border. So I finished all that, did some border, did this element, and then I started on this, it's not really a unicycle, right? Because it's got the big, there'll be a big giant wheel here and then the little wheel. But I started on that as well. That poor horse needs the back of his last leg. I just haven't done that yet because I've been focusing over here. This was one of those that I picked up probably 3 days and did like 150 stitches each day, to whatever, 200 maybe on one day. So this didn't get like a dedicated stitching time. Sometimes if I just feel like doing a monochromatic, at the moment, well, I have one other one that is Halloween, which I can start bringing out pretty soon. For the moment, this is really the only monochromatic that's in my regular stitch at the time stitching. I'm not starting the Autumn Jardin Privé probably until September. So then I'll have another one that's smaller as well. So, but yeah, sometimes I just don't feel like changing colors. I have a lot of projects that do lots of changings of colors. And sometimes I just need that kind of mental break from it. And there's something I find soothing about just having that one color that you pull. So that's why I pull it out. Because I don't think I zoomed with it. Maybe I did zoom once with it. I don't remember now. I don't keep track necessarily of the projects I work with on Zoom. All right, so this next one, this one's taking longer than it should just because I love it, but then I just pick it up, do some, and then I wait a month or so and then pick some more up. This is called Butterfly. It is designed by Anna Pavlyuk. And it is from, you'd think I'd have this memorized by now, Just Cross Stitch magazine, August 2021. I was going to say 2023, but we haven't had August of 2023 yet. So that's what it looks like. I'm keeping all of the colors the same. I think it's beautiful, but I'm not doing it on that neutral. I am doing it on color, of course, right? I think you've guessed that about me by now. So that's what it looks like. Isn't it so pretty? So I meant to check this beforehand, but I am almost sure that this is an unnamed 18 count from Coffee Craft Fabrics. But if it's not, check, if you're curious, check the description box. If it is a regular named fabric from a hand dyer, it will be in the description box under Butterfly. Because I want to say it's from Coffee Crafts. And my UK friends, if you're not following them on Facebook, that's how she sells much of her fabrics. And she does kind of like X amount, like I don't know if it's one Sunday a month, and you just grab pieces before they're gone. But if you're in the UK, it makes total sense because then you don't have to worry about shipping from other countries. You know, if you're, it would be much easier for you. Let's put it that way. But yeah, so that's what this looks like. I think it is 18 count unnamed from Coffee Crafts. And except for, so these pieces up here, there's 2 colors in each of the 4 squares, like a top and a bottom. So I haven't done a lot of that yet. I'm waiting till those colors show up elsewhere just because then I can pull it out. Instead, so I didn't do any of that. Instead, I really concentrated on what I have of the outline of the butterfly so far. And except for that one little section, everything with this butterfly and all those other sections is done. And then down here, these 2 areas will be smaller than this. So hopefully it'll go a little bit faster. What I should do is really pull out the top here. The outline is in a brown, so something like a 3371. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see if it jumps out at me. Yeah, 3371. And then the bottom is done in black, and I'm doing it in Anchor rather than the 310 it's charted in. So you have 2 different deep colors. But what I should do is just go through, stitch all of that. Then the fill-in will be a lot easier. I mean, and that's what I did in these sections was I stitched and then kind of filled in. There's multiple colors in each one, but it would be easier to count and everything. So going forward, I think maybe one of these times I might just pull out the black, the Anchor black, and just go to town and stitch some border. Or I'm calling it border, outline, I guess is the best way of saying it, right? So that's that one. Okay, next. This one is one that I'm not sure it's going to get done this summer. I'd like to, but there is definitely, I'm in a spot now where there is a lot of, confetti is the wrong word, just color changes. Do you know what I mean? So this comes from a set. I'm stitching one of these from the set now. Originally, these were from Wonderland, Ukraine. Same seller, but they've got 2 shops, and I don't know if they focus things. These designs of gnomes are in their new shop. They have the person that drew these is no longer drawing, so if somebody else drawing some gnomes that are slightly different. Look, they're super cute too. They on Wonderland Ukraine they have a like Americana set that's super cute. But I'm stitching of these. I pulled out this one. When you buy it, you get the set of 3, so you get all 3 of them. I am not sure I would stitch all 3. I think I really like that flower. So if I was to do another in this set, that one would probably be the second one I'd do. So that's what it looks like. I'm not stitching this background, and I'm not stitching the little grounding element below the gnome. I don't know if the new ones have that. I can't remember now. But I just picked fabric that I think would highlight it, so I really don't need that. If you were stitching them on white, I could see doing it. And some of their newer ones now, it's not full crosses, it's half crosses, so it would go pretty quick. So that's what it's going to look like. I was stuck in, I'm trying to finish the hair, and the hair has, no lie, 5, 6 different shades of ivories, browns, whites, tans, the whole bit, so that you get all of that variation. I really feel like in these patterns, what helps them stand out is there's so many different colors that like these flowers pop because you've got really subtle variations of the different DMCs. And I think that's what helps it. So as you can see, this was pretty much all blank, a lot of it, and now it is all filled in. I do have a mistake somewhere. I couldn't quite figure out how to fix it without pulling out a ton. So this will be a little skewed, this flower part, but that's fine. I'll just make it work. So you can see, I mean, I'm coming down and then there'll be the feet right here. I've started the foot on this side. So in theory, this could get done by the end of this summer. But it's a lot of stitching because like I said, there's a lot of color changes. So we'll see. This one I know for sure is Coffee Craft Fabrics, and it is 18 count unnamed. It's looking a bit grayer to my eye on the camera. It's a bit more on the, it's a greenish gray, kind of like, you know, kind of like a patina sort of look, but lighter. And there is the modeling, but it is a little bit more subtle than that. And the sun is, I'm trying to get this so that the sun doesn't, with my bank of windows right here, it's tough sometimes to get the right look. So there it is. I'm sure you'll see it. I know for July, I have put it in my planner, my stitching planner. There is a section at the beginning of each month with 6 kind of circles. It's a planner, so it's like you're supposed to have a goal for the month and then how to achieve it. I do different things in those, and in those 6 little blocks, those circles, I pick 6 projects that I'd like to touch at least once over the month. And this one is one of those 6 because I would like to get some more work on it and see how close I could get to a finish. All right, this one I know I'm pretty sure on I zoomed with on last Friday night, and it is the Wizard of Oz tree from Tiny Modernist. I think it is so super cute. Any backstitch I'm going to do at the end. There's not a ton. When there's a lot of backstitch, which I generally don't have a lot of projects at the moment that do, I would do it as I go. But when there's minimal like this, I save it. I give myself, like I saved with On the Beach, and it was less than an hour. I don't really remember how much it was, but you know, I pick out my long strand, I stitch all the color, backstitch all the places with that color, and then, you know, stopping and starting and whatever's, and it just seems to go better for me rather than trying to do it as I go. So that's what will happen here. So anything that looks like it's a little bit needs something, like the witch, her face is not going to be complete until I backstitch, but that's what it looks like. I went a little less green toned and I went straight blue. And I love it. This is an 18 count. It's blue ice, but it's opal from To Die For Fabrics. I don't know if that'll come off on the camera. Can you see the sparkle? But it's so cool when I'm stitching it because you can see the sparkles, you know, the different pieces sparkle, and you've got all of that kind of sparkly around it. So I just thought it would be a lot of fun. You know, and if I didn't have, I might put a toile in some places, but because the whole thing sparkles, I'm, for the most part, maybe when I get to the ruby slippers, maybe I'll do some like a toile there, but I don't know if I need it. We'll see. So I'm not sure, was the witch completely done? Yes, the witch was done. So I came over here. Well, I had a leaf that I needed to finish up here. So I did that. I finished almost. There's one little color in his little hat, the flying monkey. And then we came over, finished this, did more leaves. These leaves are tough. There's a lot of counting. So I didn't zoom with those. I think I worked mostly on the monkey. But I need to sit down and concentrate when I do the leaves. And there's a lot each section. There's 2 per row of the tree, and there's 4 branches or rows. So we have a decent amount still to go. But so fun. I'm really enjoying this. Tiny Modernist has such fun. You know, they kind of remind me of Stitchrovia or Satsuma with the bright, fun, whimsical colors or looks or things like that. And I'm really enjoying this one. And I'm really glad I picked the opal. I think it definitely stands out. It's funny because when I stitch on opal, I really enjoy it, but I don't have a ton of it. Although I don't need to go down that rabbit hole, right? You know, I mean, I already have a ton of regular fabrics. I'm not sure I need a whole bunch of opals too. I think when I'm looking to buy fabrics for a certain design, I'm going to consider opal sometimes with some of them and just buy it specifically for projects. Unless sometimes I get them in a Friday night fight nights, or sometimes I accidentally get them. I have some opals because I did the Opal Fabric Club from Fortnite Fabrics. I don't know if it was last year, but they're little small pieces, just so, you know, those would be cute for ornaments and things too. So we'll see. I would like to incorporate more opal fabrics. Carla from Carla Being Crafty really likes opals and uses them well. She has a great sense of color with her fabrics, and she definitely embraces opals in a great way. So I need to be inspired by some of her work. All right, Summer Quaker is it. This is the last of my pieces this week. Lila's Studio, if you haven't seen it before. A whole bunch of us started it on July 1st. And I know I'm going to forget some people who are stitching it who are floss tubers. Beth from the Steadfast Stitcher and I kind of, I don't know, we hosted the start of the SAL, the Stitch Along. We had a Zoom the first day of summer. Beth and I need to talk. Hopefully maybe once a month we can do a Zoom on Wednesday nights potentially and stitch on this. So Beth, I need to reach out to you. But yeah, so, and there's a whole bunch others. I know Owl and Gator Stitcher Debbie, she showed hers in her very last video. I'll think of some more, and next time I show it, I'll give you some more names. I just happened to watch Debbie's video yesterday, which is why I know for a fact she started. And she started it in the middle, so it's kind of cool. You'll see hers grow differently than you'll see mine grow, because as usual, I started in that upper left. You know, I pulled out my trusty Nantucket Sky 18 count from Fabrics by Stephanie. It is one of my favorites for outdoor scenes. You know I love blue anyway, but then you give me something with outdoor, and in the 18 count, you get this really nice, very subtle kind of wispy cloud-like look. So I thought that was perfect for this, and there I am. This is 2 videos worth, because I started it the week before, first day of summer. I showed it on last Friday and this Friday. And there's I probably got a good 600 stitches in this week. Sometimes you just get going and you get spots. So that's what it looks like. And as much as I'm changing the spring Quaker colors, so far I haven't changed anything with this one. And I'm not sure I will. We'll see as it goes. I debated on this color, whether or not I wanted to keep that. But it's not in an excessive, it's, you know, because that's kind of a brownish tan. It's not in excessive parts. And because they're not reds, they're more corals, a lighter coral, a deeper. I think it really goes nicely. You know, she obviously thought about the mix and match of the colors. So I'm going to keep it. I wasn't sure, but I think I'm going to go with it and kind of roll with it. I don't know which way I'm going. Across, down. I may start some of the words because I'm at the point. So this is, the words would start right here. That's above the center element. You know, it's going to be this, that, and the other. I don't know which way I'm going to stitch it and go with it until I actually start. So you'll just have to come back and check it out. But yeah, so you can, I know you can see it with Beth, you can see it with Debbie. And like I said, I know there's more, and I just want to make sure before I start really listing a bunch of people, I don't want to forget people. So I have to figure out if there's a way that we can, you know, find out you know, the different people, so that I'm absolutely including those who are stitching it and I'm not leaving people out. I have double TD tray tables here, so I'm kind of enclosed myself in here because I had so much to show you and there was only so many places to put it on the one table. So that is the stitching. Actually, what I'm going to do is move this over because these are my plans, and I'll move my shopping over here for a minute. That's the actual stitching that I got done this week. So let's talk about plans. Tomorrow, July 1st, this is, I think this was decided in the last month. I happen to see, and I you know, I have the digital black and white, but I do want to show you, you know what, I'm going to show you the small version. Oh, where did it go? Because every time I make it bigger on the Creative Poppy site, it just doesn't get bigger. No. All right, so let me just show you. See the color of that fabric? And then I'll show it to you in the black and white. So that's called Blue Dreams. It is a new Barbara Anna design. I actually did order the hard copy, but it's not going to be here for tomorrow. And I just want to, I'm super excited to start it. So I did order the digital copy as well. Barbara Anna digital copies can be found at creativepoppy.com. There's other designs too. It's not just Barbara Anna at Creative Poppy. There are other digitals you can get from there as well. I don't know if you can get, maybe you can, you know, I've never really explored it. Can you get the hard copies of stuff? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure though with the Barbara Anna, it's just digitals. So that's what it looks like. Now I pulled out 2 fabrics because, you know, part of me was thinking, I love how this looks. I mean, Even if you just see it in the small, you can see how beautiful that is. I don't have something that's exactly that, that deep of a color. And when I pulled out what I had, you know, I kind of decided I might go in a different direction. So originally I was looking at this one. This is called Sunset from Bestitchme, 18 count, of course. But as I was going through my colors, I did find this, and this is called Tropical. And I think I have enough of this. I should probably open it up because now I'm worried I might have used it for something and I don't. No, I don't. Okay. Well, I'm I'm 99% sure I'm using this. So this is Tropical by Fabrics by Stephanie. So as you can see, it's a little bit different shading, but some of the colors are going to look really good on this. Here, they blend in a bit more, and it depends on what look you want. The only one that I might have to change a bit of is this one, but depending on where it is in the fabric, because some of the fabric is more yellowy than orange, it might be fine. The white will be fine, and the reason I say that, so now what I'm going to show you is not Tropical. I want to say it was a Fortnite Fabrics. I'm going to try to do this without taking it out of its page protector, but I did Sailing Dreams, and like I said, I'm almost sure this is a Fortnite Fabrics, but look. How gorgeous would the two of these be? These are both summer kind of themed projects. So that's what that one came out, and I love it. I really, really liked it on that color because the blues, the whites blended in a bit, but I was okay with it. I was looking for the blues to really pop because it was the girl, right, that I wanted. And in this one too, she's gonna pop. And, you know, there is the color, you know, there's a few of these lighter colors that would blend in, but they're within the face. So they're going to be completely covered with other things. I'm not particularly worried about that. So again, the focus is the girl, and then all the other pieces around it will be nice. So it's not July 1st yet, so odds could be that I could change my mind, but I am really close to picking this one, the Tropical from Stephanie, most especially too because I love how this one looks, and while they are different base colors, I think it'd be really cool to have them next to each other in the scrapbook and have them be very similar in design when it comes to the excuse me, the colors. So I think that's the direction I'm going to go with that one. Other things I'm going to start, I don't think these patterns are necessarily out of their, oh, some of them are. July's Delphinium. I don't have fabrics for any of these yet. I'm thinking though, I'm probably going to do a blue on this one. I could do a green, but I think I'm going to do one of my lighter blues. Whether it's the same one as June, I'm not sure, but I think those colors would really pop. And July, blue sky, all that kind of stuff. So there's that one I'm starting. I am not doing a Christmas in July per se, in the sense that I've got all these plans for that. I recently bought this when I was at Salty Yarns. It's called Good Tidings from Jeanette Douglas, and I really like it. I think I'd stitch it, well, possibly Friendship Green, either a light green, or if I want those colors to pop differently, maybe a lighter blue, like a really light one. I'm not sure. I don't necessarily think it's going to go in a neutral. And I do want to see the size of some of these because I think they would be cute as little ornaments or even trading cards. So there's that. And then this one, if I could, I would show you the digital version of it. But this shop on Etsy, they are on vacation till mid-July. It is Stone Street Stitchworks, and it's called Book House. I've stitched a few Stone Street. I really like their patterns. Some of them, their patterns are definitely more kind of your prim colors, your deeper kind of neutrally colors. If I just grab the DMCs, you can see they're definitely along those lines. There's not a lot of bright out of them. And I don't know, I'm going to go in one of two directions. Either I'm going to find a fabric that's much brighter than just the neutral and use these colors on it. I'll pick one of the shades that are going to be stitched, and I'll use a variation of that so that there's kind of a continuity of color. Or I may oomph up and brighten up some of these colors and then maybe do it more on a less bright but more neutrally shade. I don't know which direction. If I can't figure it out, this is the one that may get pushed off, because, you know, I'm sure there's going to be other things I'm going to start in July. I mean, the Barbara Anna, that was not a planned start for July, and here I am starting that July 1st. So I really would like this. Mandy Parker is stitching this if you want to see Mandy's. Mandy, I haven't seen it in a while. You need to do some stitching on it. And I'm sure there are others who are stitching it as well. But Mandy, off the top of my head, is one I remember. I like it. I loved books growing up. I don't read as much as I used to because I seem to fall asleep when I read. But I would really like to. I am at least trying. There's a mystery book club in my community. So I did join that because I love mysteries. Mostly I do cozy mysteries, which are not usually chosen, but I've been, the times that I've read some of the other ones suggested have been interesting, and I've enjoyed them. So, and it's gotten me to try something that I might not have tried. So I think they took July off because it, you know, but I do have the August book, and I probably should start reading it because we usually meet at the beginning of a month. So like the first something of August. So I can bring it out and start reading it soon. So I'm excited about that. All right. So those are my plans. But having said that, that's why I love reading, and I did live in books for years and years and years. That was kind of an escape for me. So I would like to stitch that. I'm just not sure which direction I'm going on that one. If you've done it a little differently, I would love to see what you've done. Feel free to, you know, Instagram me or send me a Gmail. I would love to see it. I'd love to see your version of it. Even if you did it traditionally, you know, to kind of see it again in my mind, I'd love to see it. So all my information is down below. Alrighty, shopping, as we're an hour in here. I don't know how it is I find so much. I have 10 projects, but I find so much to talk about each one. So I know there's a lot of projects, but at the same time, I feel like I go on and on and on. I figure this way you at least have lots of time to stitch. All right, so I did an order from 123 Stitch. Because I wanted to order Sailing Dreams. No, Blue Dreams. Sorry, Sailing Dreams is the one that I stitched up already. And it's just going to get here too late. So that one plus another pattern are not here. I didn't order a ton. I just got a few different things. But Sailing Dreams was the entire... Blue Dreams was the entire reason I wanted to get something from them. Every time I order from 123 Stitch, I do pick up, you know, 10 or 12, whatever, of Anchor Black, sometimes less. It kind of depends on what I'm doing. But I try to keep my stash of Anchor Black fabric floss going because I use it for tons of stuff. And a project like, and I should have kept track so I'd let somebody know, because I think I was asked how many skeins, and I didn't keep track for Black Vintage Sampler. But there's definitely times when I'd be doing that. Kind of that much work will use a lot of skeins. So I did, and I don't order that often from 123, so I did pick that up. The other thing that I order every time from 123 is needles, and I loved the Pat Carson needles. Can't get them anymore. And I now use the Peacemakers. These are size 26. I know I use 18 count, but size 26 seems to work for me. And I picked up some needles because, again, I lose them. I bend them. I must really stitch hard because I definitely bend my needles and things like that too. So I have some of those so that I can always not run out. And I really like, I have several different places where I have little, like I have a little tin, which I have a needle minder with needles, a scissors, and a threader in it. And I like these little scissors. So I picked one up because I do want to do another. I think I have one more tin before I have to buy any more. And I put them in different places so I don't have to pull them from everywhere. So wherever I am, I can stitch. Then there's two patterns that came as well. I got Chubby Bird from Jeanette Douglas. I have, what's the other chubby one? I don't remember, Chubby something else. I have the other one, and I've always thought this was super cute. I'm going to stitch this most definitely on a blue fabric. I could see that for sure. Yeah, green would be another option, but not with those colors and shades. I'm going to do it in a blue. I think it'll pop really nicely. And then, you remember I stitched this one? This is for summer camp, cross stitch camp this year from Colorado Cross Stitcher, which I have to post today because today is the last day of the month. So if you haven't posted your finish, like me, do so. And this is from Lila's studio, and look at the bird. I loved how the bird looked. And this was always kind of in my wish list. I had the summer and the spring, so I picked up Seasons. This one's Seasons Blessings for fall and winter from Lila's studio. Seasons Blessings 2 is spring and summer. Look at those. I love both of them. And you could easily, if you didn't want the outline and the words, look at this. You could easily stitch this cardinal on top of that. And how beautiful would that be? Same thing with this one. You could stitch just the yellow bird and this stuff right around it. And you can make a cute little ornament or something out of it. Or, you know, some sort of small, if you do pillows. If you didn't want the blessings and all that kind of stuff in the outline. So that, I thought this was great, and there's lots of different ways you can kind of personalize it for yourself. I'm leaving this out though, because otherwise I'll forget to post. All right, and then To Dye For Fabrics was having a sale. She on just her ready to ship, not her custom colors, but she's trying to clear out her space. And I saw she just upped the sale. Instead of 20%, it's now 30%. She's pretty much out of 16 and 18, she said. I follow her on Facebook. If you don't, that's a good way to find out about these things. I think she has a lot of 36. So if you're a 36 stitcher, 36 count stitcher, and you could check out her, and all the fabrics are 30% off. So I picked up a couple kind of tannish, peachy ones. One is called Ash and Tan. They're all 18 count. I thought this would be, I do look for and need neutrals at times. So I thought this one would be a fun neutral. So I picked that up. This one's called Light Terracotta, which could, Blue Dreams could go on this, but I think I like the more yellowish and brighter orange aspect of the other piece. So this one, but this could also be a cool neutral too. Then you know I had to look at the blues. This one's called Dolphin Blue. We saw, Mo and I, when we were at the beach, there was one day we were at the beach and we saw a dolphin. Of course, the dolphin comes up and then goes under the water. Then you got to check a little while later. And it was kind of cute though, but you could see the dolphin swimming in the water. So that's Dolphin Blue. Cendre Blue. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. This one's a bit brighter. And then this one's Deep Cornflower Blue, which is kind of cool if I want something a little darker. So I picked those up. And then, and ready to ship, she ships fast. When she says they're ready to ship, they will ship. And then the last thing I got, I was watching Heather, the 20-minute stitcher, and she stitched this. She had gotten this out of a Earth Day pack. So I don't know if you did one of those things where you did a donation and you got this packet of, I don't know, 25 designs, and they all kind of related to Earth Day. I had, when I saw this on her channel, that the deadline had gone and everything. So I wasn't even able to check it out. But she did say that this was stitched from Bad Stitched, and they're on Etsy. I'll link them down below in my shopping section. And it's called Sea Otter. And it's super cute. She just finished it. She shows it in her last video. Isn't that adorable? Now, if you've not been with me for a while, there's a reason why I look at otters. Mo, for whatever reason, he loves sea otters especially. There's river otters. He could tell you the difference. I think in Delaware there's river otters somewhere. I'm not exactly sure, but his favorite are the sea otters. And I don't know what it is, but he, at times work can be, super stressful or whatever. And when he gets extremely stressed, what he sometimes does is he takes a step back and he watches an otter video. And he just it helps him just relax. You know how everybody finds that one thing that kind of just takes that stress away for a little bit. And for him, I mean, they're cute. I don't watch them like he would, but every once in a while they come up and, you know, there's one where they're at some sort of zoo and you can actually pet their hands, and the little guys, like, the face of the sea otter is adorable. If you've ever seen it before, you kind of, and they try to hold your hand and they're super cute. But anyway, I stitched him a sea otter ornament this past Christmas, and he has a few little other otter things. Megan found like a little sticker that he has up, and he has all of these in like a little area. Well, not the ornament, that'll go on the tree, but he has like a mug and some other stuff that he has just on his bookshelf in his office. He works remotely. He works from home. So he's got his own office and he's got stuff in there. And so I saw this and I thought this would be a lot of fun to put on with the other pieces of the display. What I didn't even realize, so I can't remember if Heather stitched hers with the earth, which is super cute. But there's actually, when you get it, you get 6 different designs. And the sea otter is holding a bunch of different things. I'm debating on either using the earth or, let me go this way. Let's see if I can get them. The earth, or where is the baby one? There's a baby sea otter. So the mother's holding the baby sea otter. If you've ever seen it, there is like a meme or something where you'll see a sea otter and she's got the baby right on her. It's super cute. But so I don't know. I'm either going to do the earth or the little baby otter. If you have an opinion, I would love to know. I don't know. His birthday is actually in July. So, oh, look it. I actually cut myself while I was filming. I have no idea how I did that. So you see, here's a planned start that I didn't have planned. This is small. I mean, seriously. Does it say? It's 75 by 75, and it's not a full coverage 75. 3 3/4 inches by 3 inches on an 18 count. I could actually, I wonder if it would look good on, might look good on one of these actually. I might pull the colors and see. Can I get it done by his birthday? Maybe. His birthday's 3 weeks away, so I have some time. I could. I mean, in essence, I could, right? I can't. You know when somebody says, can you? And you'd be like, well, I know you can. Or, you know, should I? Kind of thing. But anyway, that's a thought. And that might be a new start. So ideas, suggestions. Earth or baby pup sea otter. Any ideas on that one? And that's it for the shopping. That's all I got. Next week, hopefully, I think they're coming, the 2 back ordered, or not back ordered, but slower coming pieces from 123 Stitch. And I'll have a fabric of the month from Bestitchme. And that's it. Oh, and speaking of sales for fabrics, I did see on her Facebook page, Under the Sea Fabrics, so twice a year she has a sale. The Christmas is probably the other time. 4th of July is one of them. And I think everything is 15% off. So if you've been thinking about Under the Sea Fabrics, be warned though. She says on sales, it can take 12 weeks. And last time I ordered on a 4th of July sale, it took 12 weeks. So if you're just interested in some of her colors, but you don't need it for a project that you want to stitch in the next month or two, be prepared for a long wait. Her fabric's beautiful though, if you've never tried it before. And she did say after this sale, prices on all fabrics are going up. I don't remember what she said they'd be going up to. So this is a prime time if you wanted to try some Under the Sea fabric. Just be prepared, be ready for the wait, and then I think you'd be pleased though. I enjoy stitching on Under the Sea. I don't have a lot of projects going. I do have Spring Quaker going on Under the Sea project right now. All right. So I was just thinking about that though in my head. And the To Die For fabric sale goes till July 4th. I don't know the dates on Under the Sea. Probably around the same. You'd have to check. Either check her website or check her Facebook page. Okay, so that's that. Giveaways. Let's talk giveaways. Now I have this in the package. I'm going to just keep it in the package. Oops, hold on one second because I dropped a name and I want to make sure everybody, there we go, has a chance. I don't want to leave anybody out. All right, so I finished Resting Beach Face, so I'd like to pass it on. I don't see myself stitching this again. And I'd like to let somebody else stitch it. So let me move the names around. I asked you to say the word sand. I'm looking at my version across the room right there. It's still just the leaner, and I kind of like it that way. I might leave it that way. All right, so I've mixed the names around. Let me pull out a name, and who's my winner? My winner is, do it this way, Val. Congratulations, Val. You have one resting beach face. So if you could get back to me and give me your address. And I got myself, so I had to go to the post office for the giveaways. I wasn't able to just do it from here. And the post office is in the middle of the beach. Like, it's literally a stone's throw from the beach. So this time of year, I had lost my window when it was quiet. And I was putting off. And all giveaways for the last several months are gone at this point. So if you've been waiting on something for me, it's in the mail. And I send everything package rate just because I want to, make sure it's easier for me because I can do it all and do the labels at home. So I'll be able to track. It gets a little dicey for my overseas friends because tracking seems to fall off the face of the earth once it leaves the US. So it's not always accurate there, but I can keep track of my US ones at least. So Val, let me know and I will get that out to you. This week, since we are hitting into July 1st, and some of you are interested in kind of Christmas in July sort of things, the 2023 Prairie Schooler Santa, I bought one for myself earlier this year, and I bought one for you all as well. So if you could use the word snow, because there's lots of snowflakes, I think when I stitch this, I will stitch it without the word snowy night, and I have not been stitching that border. I don't think it, in my personal opinion, it doesn't add anything for me, and it will make finishing a lot harder because, then it can get a little wonky as you're pulling this way and that. So I will do Santa and all of his snowflakes and the little lantern. You could even just do more snowflakes if you didn't want the lantern and just have a Santa surrounded by snow. I don't think I'll even, because I'm not doing the border, I don't think I'll even fill anything there. That I'll just have the snow not, I'll have those two little pieces in front of his face, but then mostly it's all around the other. That's my plan. Now, I don't know if I will stitch this in, I've been using Picture This Plus Jade for all of my Prairie Schooler Santas, but I kind of want to change it up a little bit. And I saw somebody posted pictures in my Facebook page and they were on blue and it looked so good. So maybe I find a fun blue. Snowflakes would look good on that. And stitch him in blue and kind of change things up a little bit. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. So we'll see. I don't know if I don't necessarily have plans to start him this July, but one never knows. I've learned to never say never when it comes to cross stitch. Say the word snow and I'll put your name in the blue bowl. Please be at least 18 or older. Please don't say giveaway or free. I would love it if you'd be a subscriber. Public is not required. You can be a private subscriber. I don't need to check on you. We're adults, but it would just be nice. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. All right, that's that. Okay, so that's all of the stitching. I am all done. This morning I have a green rooibos tea, so green tea generally does have some caffeine for those of you, light amounts, who can't have caffeine. But I was surprised, green rooibos, it says, is caffeine free. So if you are looking for something a little different and you can't do caffeine, this is an option. This one happens to be very kind of earthy-ish because it has got turmeric and ginger and things like that. Not everybody's cup of tea. You knew I had to say that. But, if you don't mind kind of those more earthier flavors. I have my sweet ones, I have my non-sweet ones, and I always drink, even if I were to drink, pull out my Thai food tea. I think that's the one that my mom and my in-laws usually like. I would still drink it without any milk or sugar, so I'm just used to it anyway. Kind of reminds me of more of like that regular black tea, like a Thai food or any of the others, because just the way I drink it. But anyway, that's today's tea. Okay, so life, what's going on? Well, last night was a lot of fun. So you know that I had mentioned on and off that Mo was he was playing cornhole. So our community had a I'll call it a league. It was about 7 or 8 weeks long. So you had a partner. Mo didn't have anybody specific. He found somebody in the community who also was looking for a partner. He met a really, so we've met another really nice, I say neighbor, you know, they're not like next door neighbor, they're a neighbor somewhere in here, but we've met somebody. Well, I haven't met him, but Mo's met him, and he's super nice, and so he's made a new friend. But anyway, so they did really well. They made it to the Sweet 16, and they won that game. That was last week, and they made it to the final 8, but they unfortunately lost in the Elite 8, I guess you'd call it. And so last night was semifinals and the finals. And there was a potluck. I didn't do that. And actually they had an ice cream truck there. So it was this big whole like community event, and you could go and this and that. They had music, and you know, they when they announced the 4 teams, they did like, let's get ready to rumble, you know, all this different kind of fun stuff and everything. And so that was last night. So we went out and we chatted with some people, and we watched a little cornhole, and the winning team, they were just, I don't know if that's who Mo lost to in the, no, I don't think so. I'm not sure he played them, but that team they were pretty dominant. They were a force to be reckoned with. So, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So he enjoyed that. He has now decided he needs to practice because he's kind of throws it a little unorthodoxly. So he's trying to work his way so that he can get better. So next year, who knows where he could go. I, on the other hand, throw the thing so it slides on the board and slides right off. He would not want me as his partner, because I don't think we'd even have made the playoffs if that was the case. But you know, I don't know. I don't mind playing it, but I'm just really bad at it. Not like some of these people. But anyway, so that was fun. And then this week, Connor had a haircut, and the haircut, the guy that we all go to, really like him. He is again at the beach. So, you know, there's this strip right there in the beach and the boardwalk are right down. And so this time of year, it's difficult again for parking, and you pay for parking. Rehoboth's not bad. They only charge you for parking for 4 months out of the year, which is really quite good. The rest of the year, the parking is completely free. So I said, you know what? I'll drive you down, drop you off, and whatever. I had to go to the post office. That was a way I could do. I could combine my trips together. I said to Mo, because this was around lunchtime, hey, you got some time? Because he doesn't usually take lunch, but if he had some time, he said, yeah, I do. Let's go for a ride. So it was a nice day. So we went, dropped Connor off, dropped the stuff off at the post office, and we went to the state park because I was like, where else do we want to go? Because unless you pay for parking, do not park. If you come down to Rehoboth, do not park in downtown Rehoboth without paying for the parking, because they check. I always see parking enforcement there, and you will get nabbed for parking ticket. You will get ticketed. Just throwing that out there. So we decided the state park was right down the road. We went there, we got out, hung out at the beach for about 10 to 15 minutes, but it was beautiful because we live close enough that we can do that. The water was beautiful. I just put my feet in, but that was it. But I was shocked. You had that initial kind of, ooh, that's cold, but then it was so, so nice. Wow. So hopefully now, as the time is coming up year-wise, the water will get a little nicer. All I do is stick my feet in, but you know, hey, it's something. But yeah, so that was a nice little in the middle of the day. We only got a short trip because we had done the post office errand and everything else. And Connor's hair, he was just cleaning it up. It wasn't like he needed anything major. So his appointment was pretty quick. But it was just a nice thing to get out and just get, you know, 10, 15 minutes just at the ocean, which was really nice. Other than that, I don't know if there's anything super exciting. I am doing a Zoom tomorrow, the 1st of July from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's what I am in. If you're on my Facebook page, I did create a event, and the link, which I'm attempting, I'm not sure it's going to work, but I did attempt to create a link, is there, along with, if that doesn't work, the ID and password is also available. There's been some of you who've reached out asking about it. I know it's short notice, but I will send you the information, and if you happen to have, and you can come and go. What say you have half an hour to come say hi? Come say hi for half an hour. You know, I mean, I don't want you to feel like you have to commit 3 hours to it. If you just want a little stitching time and you have this little oasis of time in your Saturday or whatever. I am so sorry for my, say, Australia, New Zealand friends I do my best to help create time slots for people all over the world. I know it's in the middle of the night for you, but for my schedule, that was the best I could do. I didn't want to schedule it any differently because I'm not sure 100% what Mo and I are doing. So there'll be other chances, I promise. I won't leave you out. But yeah, even if you want just a tiny bit of time just to come say hi, stitch with other people, you don't have to stitch a Barbara Anna. I know there's a lot of us in my Facebook group that are starting Barbara Annas or stitching ones that they've got, and I'm super excited. There's so many out there, some that I had never seen before, and I cannot wait. Feel free to always show pictures on the page because I love stitching. I love seeing others stitching. It's not just me. It's not about me. It's about all of us as a community, and that's what I want. I want you to feel part of that community. So I would love to see it. And if you're not on Facebook, but you want to show me some of your stuff, feel free to either Instagram me or send me Gmails, send me an email because I love seeing it. I really do. I mean that. So yeah, so that's tomorrow. And then I don't know. I think we're just going to wing it plan wise and do whatever. I think Mo with his half day, he's going to go volunteer with the dogs this afternoon. So I might get some stitching done this afternoon. We'll see. I am starting the temperature chart, the birth year chart from Mo and myself. I would have shown it to you this week. I actually did start it, but I have to finagle some of the colors. So I'll talk about that next week. And I think I'm really going to like it. And I think I'm really going to like this project. I'm so excited to show it to you. So that's a little teaser for next week. All right. So I guess that's it. That's all I got. I hope you are well. I hope you are safe. If you have animals this weekend, if you live in the US, I am so sorry. I know it can be challenging with the fireworks. Technically, fireworks, except for little sparklers, are illegal in Delaware. It doesn't stop people. Except for if there's big events, if you get approval and all that. Like I know at the beach on Sunday night, they're doing fireworks and that kind of stuff. And there's other areas that they have the fireworks, but you're not supposed to set them off yourself, like neighborhoods, but that never stops people, right? So, but if you have pets, I'm just wishing you, let's get through the weekend for them. I know Shamrock, he hated that noise, and he would just bark, 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 and he'd be all kind of nervous and upset. So I hear you. I know where you're coming from, and I hope it goes okay this weekend with that, because they're going to start, if they haven't already, they're going to be all weekend long, right? So this is going to be a long several days if you were a pet owner. But excuse me, I think that's it. If you have a holiday this weekend, I hope you have a great one. If you're just having a weekend, I hope your weekend's great too, And who knows, there could be a bank holiday somewhere. My cousin works in Dublin, and she has more bank holidays, and I'm like, you're always off on a Monday. I like that idea. I think we should have Mondays off all the time, right? But anyway, I'm just rambling now. I hope you're well, and I hope you're getting some stitching time in, whether it was today's video or any other videos, and just take care of yourself. Do something for you. You're important, and you've got to take care of yourself as well. So until next time, happy stitching.